We start though with the day's big breaking news. Chelsea have confirmed the appointment of Liam Rosenior as their new head coach on a 6.5-year deal. Rosenior arrives from Strasbourg on a contract that runs until 2032. So let's get more. We can go live to the Chelsea training ground, speak to our reporter Gail Davis. Now Gail, very good afternoon to you. So Rosenior told Strasbourg this morning that he'd agreed to move to Chelsea. It was then announced by the club shortly after that. Just bring us up to speed. What has Rosenior had to say?
Yeah, very good afternoon to you. Since Enzo Maresca's departure on New Year's Day, he has been the favourite, hasn't he, to take over. And finally this morning, that confirmation came. Rosenior did a press conference in Strasbourg, talking about how excited he was about the prospect of this job. He said, "I deeply believe in teamwork, unity, togetherness and working for one another, and those values will be at the heart of everything we do. They will be the foundation of our success. I'm excited to work with this extremely talented group of players and staff to build strong connections on and off the pitch and to create an environment where everyone feels united and driven by the same goal. There is a real hunger to win, and I will give everything every single day to help this team compete and win at the very highest level, to make everyone connected and proud to be a part of Chelsea Football Club. I want our fans to be proud of who we are and what we represent in every single game that we play. They are the soul of this enormous, historic and huge football club. I cannot wait to meet you. I cannot wait to get started." So that was in Strasbourg this morning, having been at Chelsea yesterday, having talked and having actually spoken to the interim manager, Callum McFarlane, late last night. He is expected here today at some point this afternoon to meet the players. They're out training back after yesterday off, having played Manchester City, and it's expected that he'll be in the stands tomorrow night when Chelsea take on Fulham at Craven Cottage. And from there, well, it feels like a little bit of sort of see what happens in terms of Callum McFarlane and how he hands over and when he hands over. But Rosenior will be in charge for the cup game against Charlton at the weekend.
And Gail, it is Callum McFarlane that will be in charge for that game against Fulham. Has he had anything to say about Rosenior's appointment?
Yeah, strange one for him, isn't it? He had that unbelievable day on Sunday, an unbelievable few days since Maresca left, called up from the under-21s, prepared to take the side against Manchester City away, against Pep, had everything that went with it, including a very, very good performance and a 1-1 draw. So he was back today. He is taking charge of the team against Fulham tomorrow night. And as I briefly mentioned, he has had the chance to speak to Rosenior, and this is what he had to say. You had a chance to talk to him. Did you meet him briefly yesterday? How does it look tomorrow night in terms of who's going to be where doing what?
I spoke to Liam briefly last night. He's obviously really excited about taking the role. Just a brief conversation. So my understanding is he's going to be at Cobham later on today at some point. So I'm sure I'll catch up with him more on that. And the second part of your question, yeah, I've been told I'm leading the game tomorrow. So to try and do as best a job as we can, as we have done, and yeah, give him the 3 points to move on and build from.
Obviously, having taken a point at Man City against Pep, did you give him any advice on the phone when you spoke to him last night?
No.
When you have that conversation, what are the words in terms of what he's coming into? Would you say to him? Will you say to him this afternoon?
Yeah, the conversation was really brief. Probably keep most of that private if we can. I wouldn't be giving him any advice. Liam's an accomplished coach. He's had a really good start to his career. So I'm sure he's got his own ideas and things that he wants to attack. So I'm here to support him with whatever he needs in the best way I can. But I won't be giving him any advice. Your paths ever crossed before? Sorry? Have your paths ever crossed before? Like if you've done coaching, do you know him, friends of friends? Because it's normally sometimes throws up things like that, doesn't it? Yeah, obviously I was at Southampton when he was at Hull. And so other than watching our first team against their first team, which he done really well in those games and they played some really good football, that's the only interaction I've had. I'm sure all young English coaches from an academy background will be in some way, regardless of who you support, rooting for Liam. it is really inspirational for young academy English coaches to see that someone get that job of that profile, and we all hope he does really well.
Yeah, I sat down with him actually one-to-one afterwards, and you'll hear that throughout the afternoon. And I asked him about this idea that Rosenior arrives without a track record in the Premier League, without a track record at the highest level. And he spoke about his experience of coming into a squad where there are World Cup winners and huge names, and actually how humbling it was to see the reaction of the players, how they just got on with it, how they bought into what he was trying to do, and how that narrative might not play out. Also really interesting to speak to him about the structure, about how Strasbourg and Chelsea is so aligned in what is expected of a head coach. And he says he thinks that it will make a seamless transition. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few days. Callum McFarlane will be getting ready to prepare the under-21s for a game against Crystal Palace on Thursday night, whereas Liam Rosenior will be getting charge of getting ready to play out his first Chelsea game, and that will be against Charlton in the FA Cup.
Gail, for now, thank you very much. Well, let's get more on this. Our chief correspondent, Kavi Solokol, alongside me now. Kavi, let's start by talking about the contract, because Dave Sexton was the last person to manage Chelsea's men's side for 6 consecutive years between 1967 and 74. Why have they given Liam Rosenior such a long contract? And we will talk about the name as well, because you're not having it.
First of all, good knowledge there to bring up Dave Sexton. He was a fantastic manager back in the 60s and 70s. But the reason he's got a 6-year contract is because Chelsea want to have stability going forward. Now, Enzo Maresca had a 5-year contract plus an option of another year. Now, the bottom line is all these contracts have break clauses in them. So I know from the outside looking in, it's easy to criticise Chelsea and say they're absolutely crazy giving him a 6-year contract, because if they sack him, then it's going to cost them a fortune. It's not going to cost them a fortune, because these kind of contracts have break clauses in them. The important thing is to have stability going forward. That's why he's got such a long-term contract. But I'm sure if things don't work out, there are ways that both sides can extricate themselves from that situation. Talking about Enzo Maresca's contract, the reason you want to give managers a long-term contract, and players as well, because you don't want to have the situation where they're constantly coming to you asking for a new contract, asking for a pay rise as soon as they have some success. And there have been suggestions that after Enzo Maresca won the Club World Cup in the summer, he was very, very keen to get a new Chelsea contract. And Chelsea's position was, you've got 5 years left on your contract already. We're not giving you a new deal.
And what about the job that he has? Because will he be allowed to get on with the job with little interference?
Well, he's going to be the head coach. He's not going to be the manager. He can't just do what he wants. He has to fit into the team behind the team, and he's already done that at Strasbourg. I think the important thing for him going forward is that he has to demonstrate that he can do certain things better than Enzo Maresca was doing them. So, for instance, his relationship with the media, the way he conducts himself in news conferences, he has to be on message. Also, his relationship with the medical department. We know there was a lot of friction between Enzo Maresca and the medical department, because the medical department were telling him which players could play, which players couldn't play, and Enzo Maresca wasn't always happy with the advice he was getting there. Also, of course, he's got to win the fans over. Enzo Maresca, I think, in the end, quite a lot of Chelsea fans liked him, but his relationship with the fans wasn't always perfect. I think it's a risky appointment, but knowing Chelsea fans as I do, they will get behind him and give him a chance to prove that he is good enough for this opportunity that he's been given.
OK, Kavi, for now, thank you. Next time I speak to you, I do want you to get confirmation of this Rosenior. Have we been saying it wrong the whole time?
What I'm saying is that when I was growing up, his father, Liam's father, Leroy, was one of my heroes. Fantastic striker, played for QPR, played for West Ham, and I always called him Leroy Rosenior.
Yeah. But were we getting it wrong the whole time? That's the question I have for you. Next time you're on set, I want the answer.
We'll get to the bottom of that.
The reason we're having to cut in there is because Chelsea have now confirmed that Liam Rosenior is their new head coach, and we're told it is a 6-year deal for the man who joins from Strasbourg. We heard from him at 8:30 this morning. He did a Strasbourg news conference where he confirmed that in the next few hours he would be signing as the next Chelsea head coach, and that has been confirmed in the last few seconds. So at this stage, we know it's been confirmed, we know it's a 6-year deal. We will bring you some quotes after this break once we get those into us. But Rosenior is now the new head coach of Chelsea. Quickly, Jay.
6 years is a long contract. That means they believe in him. They believe in him.
Well, they normally give 8.
Well,
So
they believe in him. 6 years.
I must say, it's 8 for players, I should say. Okay, we got to stick to a little bit longer here.
What did Maresca get?
I don't know. Probably 6. I'll look it up.
Get 6. He got about 3, maybe.
Give me a chance, right? But yeah, we were expecting it to be confirmed. What did you think of the fact that he actually went to his old club this morning to kind of speak to the media and just be honest? Because he was actually very honest, which we don't always get.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I think it's a breath of fresh air. The fact that he showed his previous club the respect to go and speak to the media. I'm sure he would have spoke to the players and the other coaches there. I think that's a nice little touch. But now he's got a big job with Chelsea. The pressure's on. He needs to finish in the Champions League spot at the bare minimum. And I think he needs to manage his egos and get these players playing. But again, I think saying that he's a yes man and that's the reason why he got the job is doing him a disservice. I feel like he's a young manager. Maybe it's come a little bit soon, but nevertheless, he's a good manager, he's a good coach.
Yeah, Maresca was 5-year deal with the option of a 6th, so near enough 6 years. Right, here's some quotes we've got from Liam Rosenior now. He says, "I'm extremely humbled and honoured to be appointed head coach of Chelsea Football Club. This is a club with a unique spirit and a proud history of winning trophies. My job is to protect that identity and create a team that reflects these values in every game we play as we continue winning trophies. To be entrusted with the role means the world to me, and I want to thank all involved for the opportunity and faith in undertaking this job. I will give everything to bring the success this club deserves. I believe deeply in teamwork, unity, togetherness, and working for one another. And those values will be at the heart of everything we do, will be the foundation of our success. I'm excited to work with an extremely talented group of players and staff to build strong connections on and off the pitch and to create an environment where everyone feels united and driven by the same goal. There is a real hunger to win, and I will give everything every single day to help this team compete and win at the very highest level, to make everyone connected and proud to be part of Chelsea FC. I want our fans to be proud of who we are and what we represent in every single game we play. They are the soul of this enormous, historic and huge football club. I cannot wait to meet you all. I cannot wait to get started." So Liam Rosenior is the new head coach, confirmed as head coach of Chelsea. In one word, Jay, will Liam Rosenior be the first English manager to ever win the Premier League?
Leandro Trossard proved to be the perfect antidote to Arsenal's attacking frustrations, following Mikel Arteta's candid remarks about Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres may have struggled to truly impress since his summer arrival at Arsenal, but over the weekend, there was finally a glimpse of what he is capable of. More importantly, Trossard showed exactly why he could be the key to unlocking the Swedish striker's full potential during Arsenal's hard-fought 2-1 victory over Wolves at the Emirates Stadium. The 31-year-old winger injected fresh energy into Mikel Arteta's side on Saturday night and helped breathe new life into the Gunners' attack. Shortly after replacing Gabriel Martinelli in the second half, Arsenal found the breakthrough. While Trossard did not directly contribute to either the opening goal or the dramatic stoppage time winner, his influence on the game was undeniable. Trossard took control of proceedings, dictating the tempo and pulling the strings down the left flank. Time and again, he dismantled Wolves' compact defensive setup, releasing Miles Lewis-Skelly into space, picking out Declan Rice on the edge of the box, and crucially, feeding Gyökeres with intelligent, well-timed passes. Operating as a creative hub, the Belgian showcased his playmaking qualities, delivering sharp, purposeful distribution. His introduction completely shifted the momentum of the match, and for the first time in weeks, Arsenal's $64 million striker briefly looked like a genuine threat. Before Trossard's arrival, Gyökeres endured a frustrating and ineffective outing in attack. In fact, the Belgian was the only player to carve out a clear-cut opportunity for the 27-year-old forward, slipping a simple yet incisive ball in behind the Wolves' backline. Gyökeres controlled the pass, beat his defender, and aimed for the far post. Wolves goalkeeper Sam Johnstone was beaten, but the Swedish striker saw his effort agonizingly drift just wide. If Arteta truly wants to get the best out of Gyökeres, then granting Trossard a more prominent role in the starting 11th could be the solution. Speaking to TNT Sports after the win, the Arsenal manager openly addressed the challenges facing his marquee signing. "It's a collaboration between the two," Arteta explained. "He was in some really good positions, but the ball didn't arrive quickly enough, accurately enough, or with the precision a number 9 needs to score." But his commitment and intention were there, and we have to keep pushing. Arteta was equally vocal in defending Gyökeres prior to the match, urging patience with the striker's adaptation to English football. "There was huge expectation because we were signing a proven goal scorer, probably with the best statistics in Europe," Arteta said. "But he's coming into a different league, the most demanding league in the world. What happens if he doesn't score in 5 or 6 games? That was the only question I asked him. How are you going to react if you don't score in 5 or 6 matches? Can you handle that? And what about the next 100 games? That's what people need to see. The sample size is still very small, so leave him alone. Let him do what he does best. Support him, and I'm convinced things will come good." That message from Arteta resonated beyond the Emirates. In the days following the Wolves' victory, the debate around Gyökeres intensified among pundits, supporters, and former players. While some questioned whether Arsenal's record signing is truly suited to the Premier League's pace and physicality, others pointed to the structural issues around him rather than the striker himself. Much of the post-match analysis focused on Arsenal's chance creation and balance in the final third. The Wolves game highlighted a recurring theme this season. Gyökeres often makes the right movements, but the service into dangerous areas has been inconsistent. When Trossard entered the match, that problem briefly disappeared. Arsenal suddenly looked more fluid, more unpredictable, and far better equipped to supply a traditional number 9. Former players speaking on television and radio were quick to note the contrast. With Trossard drifting inside and linking play, Arsenal's attacking shape became more compact, allowing Gyökeres to stay higher up the pitch and occupy central defenders. That, in turn, created space for midfield runners like Rice and Ødegaard to arrive late in the box. It was a glimpse of an attacking formula that Arsenal have rarely sustained this season. The reaction from supporters has been equally divided. While frustration with Gyökeres' goal return remains, there is growing appreciation for his work rate, physical presence, and willingness to press from the front. Many fans now see Trossard as the missing connector, the player who can translate Gyökeres' movement into genuine scoring opportunities. Internally, Arteta faces an important decision. Persisting with a front line that isolates Gyökeres risks damaging the striker's confidence, especially with tougher fixtures on the horizon. At the same time, promoting Trossard to a regular starting role could mean reshuffling wide positions and reducing Martinelli's minutes, a bold call that would not come without consequences. Yet football at the highest level often comes down to chemistry rather than reputation. The Wolves match suggested that Arsenal's most expensive signing may not need drastic changes to his own game, but rather the right supporting cast around him. If Arteta embraces that idea, Gyökeres' slow start could soon be remembered as nothing more than a difficult adjustment period. For now, the pressure remains. Goals will ultimately define Gyökeres' Arsenal career, and patience in North London is never unlimited. But with Trossard offering clarity, creativity, and calm in possession, Arsenal may finally have found the key to unlocking their striker and turning promise into consistent production.